Welcome to Hypnosis Health Info. I'm Roger Moore. You know, client after client today have come in very stressed. Seems like the economy is wearing down on lots of people, and people are concerned about their jobs, they're concerned about their retirement, they're concerned about how are they going to pay for their kids' college, they're concerned about other people being laid off and having to do more work with less resources, and people are tired. And around here in the Northwest, we've had a long, cold, dark, wet winter, and people are looking for some warm and sunshine as well, and that's also bearing on everybody's moods and on the stress that they're experiencing. And I've talked before about stress, and you can look through my videos and find things on the stress reduction response, and you can find videos on how to do the light switch self-hypnosis, but there's always more techniques and more things to learn about stress. What's important is that you allow yourself to use the techniques, to use the tools, and manage your stress. Now, all the stress reduction techniques in the world, all the hypnosis in the world, is not going to slow the world down. It's not going to stop the rain from falling or the economy from going up or down or whatever it's going to do. All the stress reduction techniques is not going to change that. But what the stress reduction techniques really do is allow you to manage your stress. So they're really stress management techniques. That as the world's throwing stuff at you, you have choice, you have control over you of how you're going to respond to the stress. Now, stress is real, or it's an interpreted threat to the physiological or psychological integrity of an individual. That does result in physiological and or behavioral responses. And stress is the cause of 80 to 85% of all human illness and disease, and it's one of America's leading health problems. Back in, I believe it was 1973, Hans Selye, a Canadian researcher, showed that stress always attacks the weakest link of the body first. Now, no one could ever say that stress caused their heart attack, or stress caused their back to go out, or stress caused them to have cancer, or to have a head cold, or the flu. But what the stress does is create the environment in which your immune system is weakened, and whatever your weakest link of your body is, whether it's your back going out, or whether it's cancer, or your heart, or your liver, or whatever it might be, then your immune system is set up so that illness can attack those weakest links, or so that your back can go out. And that's what the stress does, is create the environment for that weakest link to go. Stress is self-generated. It's what we perceive in our mind and body. And often where we run into stress is where we have this idea, this notion of how we think life should be, how we think things should go. But the world's running a different way. And when what we want doesn't line up with reality, there's stress around that. Stress can be external. There's physical, environmental types of things, freeway noise or airplane noise, jackhammering outside or building a new house, weather. Those are all types of stressors. There's social interactions, whether it's with family or friends or whatever it might be, organizational stressors, whether it's at work or some social organization that you belong to. And then, of course, life events, such as the economy, war, things like that. And then there's the internal stressors. There's our life choices, how we choose to live our life. Are we living at full bore, fast pace, or are we living a much more calm, relaxed life? Self-doubt becomes a stressor. If we're always questioning ourselves, we don't think we're good enough, smart enough, capable enough, we're always questioning what it is we do, that creates stress. And when we have unrealistic expectations for ourselves or for others, and we can't meet our own expectations, or our family and our friends don't meet our expectations, that creates stress. And then there's rigid thinking of things have to look just like this, or everything has to be in its place. Well, guess what? Often things don't look like we think they're going to look, and they're not in the place where we think they should be. So one of the things that you can do is use the stress management techniques. There's the stress reduction response, which just real briefly, go watch the video, but real briefly, it's just taking in a deep breath, squeezing your thumb and forefinger together, you close your eyes, and as you exhale, you just release your thumb and forefinger and let it go. There's your self-hypnosis techniques. There's a lot of stress management techniques. And then another way of managing stress is to change our thinking, to stop the rigid thinking, to stop the obsessive thinking, and just slow our mind, calm, and relax. And then, of course, there's changing our behavior. Stop doing the behavioral things that cause stress. Don't take on so many projects. Don't always say yes every time you're asked to volunteer to do something. Change your spending habits, whatever it is you need to do to reduce the stress in your life. When we're stressed, we get this burst of energy. See, stress was a good thing. Stress was, when we were being chased by the saber-toothed tiger, stress was created to kick off our adrenaline so that we could outrun that tiger. And stress also served when the saber-toothed tiger snuck up around us or up behind us, when we're sitting around the campfire at night and starts eating us. We go into shock, and as we're being eaten alive, we have a fairly painless death. Well, today, most of us aren't literally being chased by saber-toothed tigers except for here in our head. Whether it's work or the economy or whatever it is, we're creating the tiger, and we're either being chased by it, and we're running, and in our own mind we're running to get away from it, or we just totally shut down and go into depression. The problem is that we're not, or at least most people aren't literally running. See, when we outran the tiger, we burnt up all the adrenaline that our body produced. But when we spend the day sitting in a car seat, in the car behind the steering wheel, or we're sitting in front of our computer, or we're sitting in front of a TV, well, we're not literally running, and all that adrenaline builds up in our body.